All right, in this video, I'm gonna give you a quick and simple tutorial on how you can use Superform Labs. And the reason why you might want to use Superform Labs is because A, you can earn cross-chain yield across all of these different networks, and you can also qualify for the Layer 0 airdrop because it triggers interactions with that. So in Superform, it's actually super cool. I'll leave the docs down below and you can go through them if you want, but the TLDR is that you can deposit or withdraw into any vault using any asset from any chain. So you can see options here for different chains and different assets. And all of these vaults right here listed by the different protocols are on different networks, but by using Superform, you can take advantage of these vaults without having to have that specific asset on that specific network, which is super, super cool. And then on top of that, as was brought to my attention by wagame.eth on Twitter, you can trigger a bunch of interactions with Layer 0, Hyperlane, Jumper, Li-Fi, and other high-value protocols as well when you make deposits into these vaults. So for example, if we make a deposit into Allo Capital, one of the vaults here on Superform, then you can trigger interactions with Allo, which is a tokenless protocol, but you can also get multiple other airdrops as well. So it's a multi-airdrop qualifier. Plus, of course, there's the yield. Now, currently, Superform is in kind of a closed beta, but it's actually super easy to get access. They were giving access to people that followed them on DBank. They were also giving raffles for early access. And then now there's a Galaxy campaign or quest on where if you complete these very few simple social tasks by following them and liking some stuff on Twitter, then you can get access by doing this as well. So there's plenty of ways to get access to Superform. And then once you do, come back over here, connect your wallet, and we'll discuss the next steps. So once you do get access to the application, the next step is to pick the vault that you want to deposit into. So you can sort them by the protocol, you can sort them by the APY, or the TVL. So in some cases, they've got really small TVL. Like I might not deposit into a vault with only 18K TVL. Safety in numbers, you know? And I'm not gonna tell you what vault to deposit into because you need to do your own research and make sure that you understand the risks and that you're comfortable with them. And with each different protocol or vault, there's different smart contract risks and the yield comes from different places. So that is on you. Actually, this right here is cool. I didn't notice this before, but you can actually make a deposit into Pool Together, which is a lossless lottery system and actually is where my profile picture comes from, supporting Pool Together. So once you choose a vault, and let's say that I'm gonna make a deposit into one of these Allo vaults because this is a tokenless protocol. Maybe I'll choose the wrapped ETH vault on the base network for Allo. So you hit on this button here, deposit, and then it basically adds it to your cart up here or your bag. So once you click on that, it opens up, it's like an e-commerce checkout experience, and you have to select which network you're going to fund it from and which token you're going to fund it with. So I can use any of these different options here. Let's say I'm going to use op tokens on the Optimism network. Then I just need to select how many. So I don't know, 15. And then it will pop up down here showing me the average APY. Not much, but in this case, that's not really my concern. I'm just trying to use this to farm airdrops. And then it's taking a second to load up the fees, but I was messing around with this earlier and it looks like the average deposit fee to some of these vaults can range from a couple of dollars to $5, $6. It really depends on the vault that you choose. Now, one thing that you can do to make sure everything's gonna run smoothly is click this button to simulate the deposits. And it takes a second and it will pop up here showing you whether or not it's successful. So yeah, the simulation was successful. So now let me run through the actual approvals. I have to approve the spending of the token and then actually make the deposit. And then we'll discuss how much it costs in total and what the benefits are. Actually, like what protocols are you hitting? So I'll approve the spending of 15 UP tokens for as little as I can in gas fees. Then we have to sign a second transaction. And then we have to actually make the deposit. And that's where we see the total fees. So yeah, the total fees for making this deposit into the vault is $5. Obviously, it's beneficial if you're doing this with larger amounts of capital. For one thing, because the volume of your transaction will be better for the airdrop, but then also because the fees will be smaller as a proportion of the total value of your capital. But anyway, since this is just a demo, let's go ahead and make this deposit here and sign the transaction in the wallet. Again, I always just try to select the low option for gas fees because there's no rush on this. Now, it's going to take a little while because these are cross-chain transactions and it has to bridge from Optimism to Base and then also swap into the correct token wrapped ETH for that pool. But if we click on this button here, track on Superscan, this is great because we can see that I'm hitting the Allo protocol base as well, which is probably less likely to drop a token, at least in my opinion, but then also layer 0 to bridge from Optimism to Base. So in the end, my transaction did go through and I get to interact with Allo, Base, also layer 0, and Hyperlane. And then in terms of tracking the position, you can see it by clicking on the portfolio tab right here. So this is my Allo wrapped ETH vault on Base. And at any point you can click withdraw and then it adds to the cart for a withdrawal. And then you can reverse engineer the process, but you don't even need to withdraw it to the original token and chain that you deposited on. You can withdraw it to a different chain and a different token, which is awesome. So it actually probably even makes sense if you want to make a withdrawal to send it to a different chain and a different protocol to try and maximize your airdrop farming surface area. So yeah, I would say that this is a great protocol to use. I actually had a little bit of an issue with my deposit. It ended up taking almost 24 hours, but that was because an upgrade went on the across bridge at the exact time that I made my deposit, which was super unlucky. But they have a little chat feature right here, and I spoke to the team. They were super responsive. They helped me out, and it ended up going through anyways. But when you make a deposit, I'm sure you won't have those issues because they said that while that upgrade was happening, they disabled the across bridge route. So I just got super unlucky with that. So this is a solid multi-airdrop qualifier, and I recommend taking a look, messing around with it, and maybe doing a couple transactions once you've, of course, done your own research and you're comfortable with the risks and you've chosen a vault that you like. So yeah, hopefully you found this tutorial helpful, and please stay tuned for more because there's going to be a lot more coming up soon. Have a great day.